Now, a warning bell starts to ring out. Rolf checks the maps on his hands and finds out the Valg are actually coming to attack Skull's Bay. And Rolf thinks that they're coming to search for Aelin after she's used like a really big bit of magic. And she denies that. She's like, this has nothing to do with me. They're obviously coming because they've got a problem with you, Rolf. So she gets all her group together and is like, well, this seems like a you problem. We are leaving Skull's Bay. Peace out. And he agrees to her plan. Like, that's all it took to nudge him over the edge. He's like, okay, we will come help you. Please save us. And Dorian's fully aware that Aelin lied. She totally drew all the Valg there by using her magic. And that's backed Rolf into a corner beautifully. So, of course, the team already have plans to save Skull's Bay. Aelin sails out into like the very center of the fleet, whilst Lysandra, I kid you not, okay, shifts into a sea dragon. They're not even real, they're mythological creatures. But Homegirl studied the painting at the temple, shape-shifted into one, so that obviously the Mycenians will see and think of it as like a mythical sign. Also, really, really cool. Lysandra is a sea dragon. It's awesome. Another iconic moment. Now, up on their boat, Aelin and Rowan, they join magic because they're Karanam. But Aelin reaches so deep down into her fire magic that she kind of falls into the infinite source of it and is possessed by the god of fire. Or should I say, the goddess of fire, Marla Firebringer. Because she's wearing the weird key. She kind of ish travel or access stuff from other dimensions when she's got one on. She maxes out her power, pulls Marla, this goddess, through from the realm of the gods, and Marla takes her over. Turns out gods and goddesses, frickin' psychos. So Marla just starts burning everyone and everything. Aelin has fully lost control and is possessed. But Homegirl manages to kick a goddess out of her mind. And I just want you to appreciate Aelin kicks a goddess out of her mind. That's insane. But yes, it's all gone a bit wafty. It turns out Aelin should not be using her magic when she's wearing the weird key. It's a good thing for everyone to learn, and luckily they're out at sea. But Fenris has to dive in the water and go and save Aelin. Meanwhile, Lysandra is fighting like sea wyverns. I know we've got like sky wyverns that the witches are flying. These guys, they're in the water as well. Fortunately, Lysandra's a sea dragon, so she's fighting them. But one of them escapes and starts swimming towards Aelin in the water. But Lysandra manages to get this like mental message to Aelin, like, and Lysandra's fighting Adian manages to kill one of them, and he saves Lysandra's life. Like, at the very last minute, it looks like Lysandra's going to be taken down by one of these sea wyverns. Adian comes in and kills the last one. It's at this point, Adian says, you are so amazing. Like, you are insane. I adore you. I'm gonna marry you one day. And Lysandra can't really respond to this because Homegirl she's a dragon. She's got no voice. But it's really cute. Now, Aelin and Rowan go to meet with Rolf, who's obviously like, wasn't quite expecting it to go awry, your mission to save, but I guess you did deliver. I guess you have saved Skull's Bay. And they find out that the cost of getting that map on Rolf's hands, he wasn't fully aware of at the time, but it ended up being his mum and his sister, so not really nice magic. And Aylin's she's had a day, okay? So she wants to get away from everybody. She goes down to this beach, and obviously Rowan goes with her. And we get Aelin and Rowan together in the biblical sense for the first time on the sand. Because he told her, he was like, we're not doing anything sexual when there's anyone around. So they go away from everybody and they're finally together. And yeah, it's pretty perfect. It's brilliant. I'm going to give Sarah J Maas 10 out of 10 for it. Now, when the group is all together, the ghost of Elena appears to them. Queen Elena, she's back. And she tells them that the lock that they're looking for is in the center of these marshes. Her mother died to kind of ensure that this temple would be preserved in the marshes. And Gavin and Elena used the temple to seal Erwin. Instead of killing him like they were meant to, they just kind of trapped him there. And Elena then reveals who her mother was. And it turns out my man Brannon, King of Terrason and Aegelin's whatever grandfather, his wife was Mala Firebringer, the goddess. Like, she came down to Erelea, fell in love with Brannon, kind of became mortal for a bit, had a family with him, and Aelin is literally descended from that goddess. It's iconic. It's such a gag. And while they're on the boat, while they're on their ship, in the distance, they see a wyvern and they're like, oh no, we're going to be attacked. But it's not a regular wyvern. It's a Braxos. And he's flying, obviously, towards Thorian. And at this point, Manon is completely unconscious. She has passed out and she falls off of a Braxos into the water. And just without a second's hesitation, Dorian jumps off that boat. Dorian jumps into the sea and goes and saves Manon's life. Now, Manon wakes up and she is on an unfamiliar ship with Aelin threatening her not to hurt anybody. Which is like, okay, fair. She's kind of all messed up, so she's just staying in bed. Next time she wakes up, which is a few days later, Dorian's in the bedroom with her. And it's such a good convo. The Riz is insane. We're finally properly getting these two together. And she explains to Dorian basically how she got her wounds, and she asks him to help her find the 13. She doesn't know where they are. She doesn't know that they're okay. Meanwhile, in another bedroom, Aelin wakes up and she is literally on fire. And Rowan obviously is panicking. He manages to pull her back from the brink, and he ends up apologizing because he assumes that Marla's possessed her again, but that's not the case at all. And then they're both awake at night in the same bed, so they do what couples do together. We also have that kind of mirroring a scene where Dorian goes into Manon's bedchamber and she's all chained up. You know, she's literally tied to the bed. And she's basically asking, like, look, trust me enough to unchain me. And maybe come into this bed, boy. And Dorian is like, no. I don't think so, witch. But we do get to see Dorian's new kind of magic. Invisible magical hands. And we all die. We all die. But on the ship, turns out they've got an imposter. One of the people working for them is possessed by Erwin, and he outs Manon to everyone as the rightful heir to the Crocan crown. Homegirl's by birthright the queen of the Crocans, and she is human. But a ton of other demons start attacking the boat and the boats around them. During the scuffle, one of the demons says to Aelin, Erwin knows you've got one of the weird keys now. And a lot of people get hurt. It's bad. But Fenris, he's hurt the worst, and Aelin manages to heal him. She starts us on one of the great friendships in this. Aelin and Fenris. It's kind of at this point we get a little more insight into why Gavriel and Adian's mother kind of ended their relationship the way that they did. Turns out Adian's mum dumped Gavriel. Like, Gavriel would have happily stayed with her, but the blood oath with Maeve, it was proving a problem, and she walked away from him. So Homeboy never found out that she was pregnant and was basically leaving so that Maeve would never know about Gavriel's child and try to claim Adian for herself. They're all traveling on the boat. They're all trying to heal. They're all recovering together. And something Fenris says jogs a memory of Aelin's. So Aelin's asking Manon, babe, can some witches see the future? And Manon's like, yeah, some of the ancient witches, that they had prophetic abilities. Turns out Baba Yellowlegs, back in the caravan, said something to Aelin that at this point in the story, she's finally come to understand. And Aelin gets really upset and she runs into a bathroom. She starts throwing up, like has a full-bodied physical reaction to this is awful. And when Rowan knocks on the door, she's like, please just bring me Lysandra. I need to speak to Lysandra. We do have an iconic moment later on where Rowan's like, baby, you pregnant? She's gone and thrown up. But we have that dispelled. Okay, there is no surprise pregnancy trope in this book. As they sail by Elwë, the country's on fire. And as they sail by, Rowan and Aelin do everything they can to put all of the fires out. The group pull like into shore and they realize they've got a couple of days of walking to get to the marshes where this temple is. Funnily enough, who else is also near these marshes at the same time? Lorcan and Elide. I know it's been a while. They're back. It is at this point, we have our first Lorcan and Elide smooching scene, and it's everything you hope it will be. The two of them, they're in a good place right now. If only it could last. Because the two of them, they need to start running. A group of demons is coming for them. So they're running to the marshes. From the other side, we have Aelin and her lot. They're all coming to the marshes as well. As they're kind of traveling to the marshes, Manon is chatting to Aelin and she recognizes Aelin's necklace. This Eye of Elena charm that Aelin's been wearing all the way through is basically 3 overlapping circles, and she explains that to witches, that symbol has a very different meaning. And she starts talking about the war between the Crochan witches. She shares a lot of information about which kind, full stop. As the two of them are chatting away, it's all seeming very convenient. They've got like different bits of information from different sides. They're like 2 puzzle pieces coming together. And Gavriel and Fenris grab Rowan and they're like, mate, something has brought these 2 women together. Look at them. These 2 once in a lifetime forces. What are the chances that they're converging right now? Manon on one side, Aelin on the other. There's a lot of power combining here. Something's going on. Like if Aelin's the woman for you, brother, I'd get her away from here. Something bad is obviously coming. If all of this good power is collecting together, it's probably in response to something bad that's coming. And they let him know, oh, BT Dubs, your replacement in the cadre, it's this guy called Kane, who Rowan hates, by the way. Like, Rowan said, I can't train him. He is evil. See, that's all ruminating in Rowan's mind. It's just bad news after bad news. In the meantime, Adrian's being a bit difficult. He's kind of like questioning Aelin and how she's choosing to use her powers. And that she just doesn't share information with the others in the group. You know, she is very inclined to do things herself, and they're all meant to be a team. Rowan's like, we need to start planning, and all of the Fae men, they're all like chatting, trying to organize stuff. Meanwhile, Aelin's like, I want to have first crack at the enemy, so she pushes on ahead, not realizing the group they're approaching, that's Lorcan and Elide, and Lorcan can sense like the immensity of Aelin's power coming towards him, so he pushes up this magical shield over him and Elide. All of those demons that are chasing Lorcan and Elide, Aelin wipes the floor with them, and Lorcan has never seen magic like it. Like, it says that in the book. He is gagged. Which is iconic, because he's, like, horrified, and Elide's like, yes! So funny. But obviously, Gavriel and Fenris, they attack Lorcan. They're blood sworn to try and kill him. And my girl Elide, she's not gonna let Lorcan get bitten by Fenris, who's turned into his wolf form. He can be a wolf and Gavriel can be a lion. That's where they get their nicknames from. And Fenris bites Elide. Fenris and Gavriel are like, oh no, oops. Lorcan, take down your shield. We'll heal her. We're sorry. But, you know, if that shield comes down, we are going to kill you. And what's so amazing is in that moment where it's like, leave the shield up. Elide will bleed out and die. Take the shield down. You will probably die. He doesn't hesitate. Shield is down. He chooses to save Elide. But at this point, Rowan steps in between Gavriel and Fenris and Lorcan. And Rowan's like, if you kill Lorcan, it will be an act of war. Like Rowan comes through, and it's so funny because Lorcan's like, "Yay, my best friend Rowan," and you know that Rowan hates it. Rowan's just doing the right thing, but Lorcan's like, "Yay, my bestie's back." They just have very different POVs on their relationship. As far as Lorcan's concerned, Rowan is his best friend. He's his right hand man. They've known each other for a really long time. And when Rowan's POV is like, "Ugh, Lorcan." I'll save him because it's the right thing to do. So everyone complies. And we have this great like converging of the teams because our lead is like, Aelin, I have this thing for Selena Sardothian. It's this stone from Coltane. And everyone freaks out because it's the second weird key. Manon introduces Dorian to Ali and be like, oh yeah, this is my bae. He is the king of Ardalan. And Aylin's like, thank you, Lorcan, for bringing a lead to me. Thank you, Manon, for having looked after a lead. I'm taking a lead back now. She was my friend first. And it's so funny because Lorcan's so not cool with sharing, and Aylin's like, try and take her from me. So good. And it's at this point Rowan's like, Lorcan, he's acting really different. It's almost like after all these hundreds of years of knowing each other, this man finally has some emotions. Now Dorian, he's like, this is quite the circumstance, all of us being here at the same time. Maybe the gods have got some kind of plan and they're bringing us together for something.